Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the HD pregame show. This is the pregame show for the HDH Invitational. We're actually going to be looking at WhiteRA versus Jinro, also known as Frozen Arbiter today. Anything to say about that?
I can't wait for this one simply because Frozen Arbiter is from Team Liquid and WhiteRA has been around for ages, since the dawn of time when people were writing on tablets. He's been playing StarCraft 1 and he's really good in StarCraft 2. He won a lot of tournaments recently, so I really expect him to place well here. Jinro's going to have his work cut out for him.
He's also the oldest player right now in the entire HDH Invitational.
By far.
Yeah, so he's got the most experience. Frozen Arbiter, though, is a pretty solid Terran player as well, so it is going to be a Protoss versus Terran. First map, as always, Lost Temple, and as always, giving a huge shout out to our sponsor, the IRIP application. Make sure to Google it, check it out. Huge help to us, and they've been just great sponsors so far for this tournament.
Hey guys, this is HD and I'm here with Husky. Looks like we're going to be looking at the first round of 16 for WhiteRA versus Jinro. Jinro, also known as Frozen Arbiter from TeamLiquid.net. It is going to be a Protoss versus Terran. First map is Lost Temple as always, and we have WhiteRA spawning here as the orange Protoss at the 9 o'clock position. Jinro spawning at the 6 o'clock position as Red Terran.
I cannot wait for this game. Jinro, very well known in the Team Liquid community, as he has been a moderator of the StarCraft 2 forums for quite a while, even before the game actually was launched in beta. And so he's actually played surprisingly well in StarCraft 2. He wasn't really known for StarCraft 1, but here he is in StarCraft 2. And WhiteRA, he really needs no introduction, as he has just been a dominant force in StarCraft 1 and has been winning tournaments left and right in StarCraft 2, so it could be a pretty epic match.
Yeah, one thing about WhiteRA is he loves to do that cheese. He loves to go around and proxy other players. He's also the oldest player in this tournament, but we've seen so many games that we've casted together where he does those proxy gateways and uses them really, really effectively. And it's surprising because a lot of times cheese can be kind of 50-50, but he seems to make the best use of it all the time, and he oftentimes tends to wins his games really, really early on. It doesn't look like we're going to be seeing that this game. His probe actually moving in the wrong direction first, and Jinro here not walling off his front door, building the supply depot and racks inside the base. Do you think that could be a problem?
It could very well be, but I have seen a lot of Terran players, especially on maps with ramps, they haven't been walling in that much, and so we'll see if it is going to end up working for him or not. I mean, it is a valid strategy not to wall in. I guess that a lot of the higher level Terran players out there are okay with that. I do want to mention that me and HD both do have videos of WhiteRA, or at least I know I do, on my channel of him going crazy proxies, and so we're not going to see that in this game. I just want to make that apparent that he is known for doing crazy fun strategies like that. And so, I mean, and there was even that one where he lost to kind of that Nidus worm with a bunch of drones coming out of it. So he is a very to watch, and so that's why I can't wait to get this game underway. But both players right now, they both just have workers, as they don't have a zealot or the marine out, and then the SCV count a little bit low at 15, but that is because he is getting his orbital command.
Yeah, it looks like he will have a slightly lower SCV count, but that's going to definitely start to pick up once the orbital command comes out. First Marine coming here, and it is going to push the probe away before the probe could see what kind of add-on came up there. Just going to make sure right here, yeah, the probe, WhiteRA, does not see what kind of add-on. It is a reactor, though. So, I mean, he might have thought there might have been Reapers or something like that, but it would be pretty slow for Reapers anyway, since the gas came out and the racks came out a bit late, rather than 9 or 10. Looks like WhiteRA here is just going to keep that probe alive, and like you said, probes have pretty good scouting capabilities, what with the shield regenerating and all.
Absolutely. When they stay out of combat a little bit, do note the placement of that pylon. HD, you were mentioning the Reapers. If there was going to be a Reaper, that's exactly where they're going to jump up there when they run right into their base. So he's putting that there preemptively to kind of prevent that from happening. But it is a reactor add-on, a little bit less common, I would say, in TVP to get that reactor. But I think that maybe Jinro is going to do some sort of early aggressive move here, and it's going to definitely involve a lot of Marines unless he's planning to lift off that factory and get out 2 Hellions. Don't know if that would be that effective in Protoss versus Terran, but that is one thing you can do, is get the add-ons on your barracks and then actually swap them out. I don't know if there's a word for that yet, but I don't know if we're going to see that. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, that would be a definite possibility. Lift off the racks, put the factory on that, and start pumping out some Hellions. Hellions are pretty good against any kind of worker, really, and what with WhiteRA not walling off at all, and Frozen Arbiter, aka Jinro, sees this, he could try to sneak out a couple of Hellions. Meanwhile, though, it looks like we do have a Zealot and Stalker starting to make their way across the map, and like I said before, Jinro doesn't have this wall off completed. Could be a big issue here. And looking, oh, we actually have a Stargate.
Stargate, that's very rare in PvT. That pylon also serving as a double purpose there, as an SCV can't see that because of the cliff, even though he is so close there. And yeah, he doesn't know about it, but we could see, I would assume, Void Rays, but I mean, Phoenixes are a possibility, I guess, because you can lift up workers and stuff like that. But I would assume Void Rays. From what I've heard, a couple of people have told me that WhiteRA does actually like Void Rays quite a great deal, but in PvT, they are definitely exceptionally rare, and if it is going to be a Void Ray, tanks are not what you need right now.
No, and looking at the production tab, it is a Void Ray coming out, most likely chrono boosted as well, and a siege tank, not the right choice of tech for Frozen Arbiter here. The siege tanks can't even shoot air in the first place. Luckily, he does have a reactor on the racks, and he is going to make a push out right now, what he thinks to be his perfect timing push with this siege tank coming out. He's going to try to do some damage right now, but the problem is, oh, the probe is going to see it, and of course the Void Ray is probably just going to go straight for the main base, and he's not going to have the Marines to defend against that.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate for Jinro, because for those of you who don't know, Marines are actually extremely effective against Void Rays. It only takes a handful of Marines costing 50 minerals each to kill those Void Rays, and the Void Rays just now arriving inside of his base. At the same time, he is completely out across the map, and so no matter how many Marines he makes, I don't know if he's going to be able to make them fast enough trying to micro them there, but when it's just one measly Marine at a time, they do get mowed down, especially with that Void Ray having it fully charged. At the same time, Jinro's attack getting pushed back. For some reason, his tank was actually in the front of that. Just because they're a tank doesn't mean you want them to tank all the damage, because, I mean, they need to be in the back of those Marines, so this is not looking good for Jinro.
Yeah, right now, Jinro doing his timing push at what was probably the worst possible time, and he doesn't have Marines to defend against this solo Void Ray. Missile turrets getting taken out now, and the SCV is forced to abandon the base, because actually Void Rays do pretty good now against light arms, what with that new buff in patch 9. A second Void Ray making its way in right now, and now Jinro pulling back all of his units, and WhiteRA actually following right behind his tail. Looks like Jinro's going to try to lift off his command center and place it down at the natural expansion. Tons of action going on right here. Force field going down as well. That's going to hurt a lot of the SCVs as they do the little moonwalk right there.
Yeah, they're trying to, the AI's trying to get through there. There's his other command center flying over here. Really surprised, though, that Jinro didn't even fall back with his Marines, which he's doing just now. I'm kind of surprised he lifted off that command center, but now 2 Void Rays. Gonna eat up a bunch of these Marines. HD, I don't think this is looking good for Jinro whatsoever. This could be absolutely one-sided.
Yeah, looking at the income time right now, 800 to 0. Frozen Arbiter really in a deficit right now. He's just starting to get his natural saturated up, but at the cost of losing his main expansion. And he's just bringing Marines 2 by 2, and unfortunately that's not going to be enough against 2 Void Rays, so he does GG out, and one's got to wonder, is that going to throw him off for game number 2?
Oh man, I would be so sad if that just happened to me, especially since he had enough Marines, an odd amount of Marines. You actually don't usually see that many in TVP that early. He could have held that off quite easily, but he doesn't have map hacks. He didn't know what was coming his way, and so that is that. We're going to have to go into game number 2. Jinro will be able to pick his favorite map, because they can pick from any of the maps in the map pool, but except for Twilight Fortress, but either way, we'll wait and see if he can make something happen in game number 2.
Alright guys, so thanks a lot for tuning in. Those siege tanks not really doing what they needed to do, and once again, make sure to check out our sponsor, iRip. Google that application and make sure to check it out. So let's move on to game 2.